So I bought myself a large format printer. So now I can print my own posters. And this thing is a lot bigger than what I was expecting. It's gonna be awkward to pick up. I mean, you can pick it up, but it's definitely very big and clunky to maneuver around by yourself. But it's not the heaviest thing around, so it's still mobile enough. All right, so excuse the lighting here. It's not the best lighting because this room is pretty much all black. But as you can see, I was able to get this to fit in here, and luckily I already had this table here, and it ended up being just deep enough to where the feet of this printer sit right inside the edge. Obviously, I have a little bit of space here on the sides. So pretty happy about that because the stand for this thing is like 300 bucks. This, from what you saw, was ready to go right out the box. Now we just have some assembly stuff. So we have our construction manual. Let's see, power cord. Let's see, silver package. This is the printer head. See, this is one cap for the roll of media. What else do we have in here? And whoever made this was not playing around. It is a whole bunch of nothing. So we're left with just the bottom now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cartridges. And then after that, it's a whole bunch of nothing again. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just remove all the packaging tape, which everything is all orange. There's 2 right here in the front left corner, and then 2 on the exact opposite side. Some here at the top. And then right here where the media goes, there's 2 pieces of tape on the left and the right side. Okay, so right here at the bottom, there's like a little half circle opening. So this is a little door that you just open up. And then you can remove the 4 pieces of tape from in there. Now just close it back up. See, there's a plastic cover right here on this little window on top, so remove that. Back here, there's a couple of pieces. The second piece. All right, and that's it for the back, just those 2 pieces. Now that I removed all the packaging, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the power cord. Okay, let's see, there's a cover for the end there. So if you go in here to the left side, you'll see that it plugs in right there. All right, so it's plugged in. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And the screen, you can actually pop this open, which is nice. Okay, so select language, English. Let's see, time zone. All right, I live in California, so I had to Google this real quick. So my time zone is -8 for being on Pacific time. 90% on Canon. Yes, Canon. Okay, open the ink tank cover. All right, so it's giving me the instructions here on the cover. There's even like little diagrams. Let's see, this is the cover right here, so I just fold that open. You can see there's matte black, black, yellow, magenta, cyan. When installing a new ink tank, shake it side to side before install the ink, correct color and the correct orientation. Okay, it says shake it side to side. This is what the ink cartridge looks like here. It's like a little chip right there. Okay, and I'm gonna insert it in the orientation that it's labeled. So be sure that you're not installing it upside down. Install it right side up. Nope, it seems to fit. All right, and click that into place, and then just repeat for the other ones. All right, so you can see all my inks line up in the correct orientation. Now, one thing I will say is that for the black, magenta, and cyan, I can hear the ink swooshing around as I was shaking it, but the matte black and the yellow, I couldn't hear anything. So hopefully that doesn't end up being a bad sign. Okay, and then close the cover there. All engineering ink cartridges have been installed. Okay. Oh, so this guy just slid out right now. Okay, it says open top cover. Okay, this right here is the top cover. It says release the print head lock lever. Open up 1 and 2. Okay, so I've opened those, so I hit OK. Take out the print head and then remove the orange protective cap. Install the print head. Lock the print head lock lever. Align the lever on the right of the cartridge and close the top cover. Alright, so I have to remove these covers here, so that just comes right off pretty easy. And then this back part, that just comes right off as well. Very simple, no complications there whatsoever. Now to install this little gold plating here, I can see the pins for those connectors sit right there in the back, so I want this to be hitting towards the back. Just going to go ahead and place this down in there. And then that just folds right into place. And then pop this over. And I think that should be good. Instructions also say to align this arrow here with the red dot, but it's already aligned, so I don't think I need to do anything there. All right, select the connection method. So I'm going to be doing Wi-Fi here. Do you want to connect to a computer or smartphone to the printer with Wi-Fi? Yes. You want to set up Wi-Fi using a tool from a computer? Sure. All right, preparing the ink system, do not turn off while the ink is being prepared. Start setting up your computer or smartphone. For the installation guide to continue. All right, so after, I don't know, maybe some 10 minutes so, checking nozzles, runners are being checked, start setting up your computer or smartphone. All right, and after about another maybe 7-8 minutes, ready to connect, refer to the installation guide to continue. So in the instruction manual, is very small to point out, but you have to go to ij.start.canon to be able to install your printer drivers. Then it takes you to this website right here. So now you just go to click setup, and then you type in the type of printer that you have. In my case, I have a TM-240, and then from there I hit go, and now I can go ahead and start downloading drivers. So I click the download button. From here, it's pretty simple. You just follow the prompts in order to set up your Wi-Fi connection. So from here, you just let it do its thing and let it set up the connection while you just pretty much just wait it out. So right now, my computer is currently setting up the Wi-Fi. So this is what the printer says at the moment. The printer is establishing a connection and performing initial adjustments. Do not turn off power. All right, and after a little bit of time, you are now able to print. So you click next. Let's get started. So here it'll take you to the Canon website. So if you click on it, this is all just extra stuff. None of it is necessary in order for you to be able to print. So you can skip all of this right here. All right, so as I was setting up, let's see here. Please wait momentarily. So the screen did go to sleep, but just give it a tap, woke right back up. All right, there's no paper. If you look at the ink levels, they are pretty low after starting up this process. I'm hoping it's just because it's brand new and there's no ink in the machine at all to start with, that a lot of the ink gets used up just off of this initial use. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. So let's go ahead and load the paper in here. All right, so I'm going to be using this satin photo paper 200G. And it is 24 inches by 100 feet. The pole that holds this in is located back here. It's already comes installed, so you just open this up and I believe you just take it out. Yeah, it just comes right out. So it is labeled this as the right side, and then over here it's labeled right side as well, so that way you always align it properly. Now when it comes to the roll, you want the roll to go over and towards the front label here, okay? Now this is, the core here is 2 inches, or you could use a 3-inch core, but you need an adapter for that. Okay. Put that in on one side. Now for the other side, it has this little locking lever. To the left, that's unlock, and then if you go to the right, that's lock. All right, so the blue side's gonna stick out. Lock that into place. So I'm gonna remove the middle part here. There we are. And that just falls right into place. I don't hear any kind of clicking or anything like that, so I'm assuming, so I'm just kind of assume that it's okay. Close the cover, and let's see here. So this part right here, because it's a roll, so I don't really have to worry about this piece here. I think these are just for, oh yeah, so this right here is for single sheets only. Okay, so I'm going to go to load paper, load roll paper, open the roll paper cover, remove the roll holder. I already did all this. So it looks like I just have to feed it through. So I'm trying not to get any smudges on the paper here. Okay, feeding the paper, please wait momentarily. So I guess it looks like it grabbed on its own. Yep, it did, so I can go ahead and close the cover. Please select the paper you want to feed from the list. Let's see. So this is photo paper. And it is the satin 200. So I'll just go through all the options here. So mine is the satin 200. So it's currently feeding the paper in and out. All right, so it is in it. 24-inch roll, 101 feet. All right, we are good to go. So let's go ahead and do our first test print. So for the first picture that I wanted to do here, I wanted to do a picture of Mewtwo. Now I currently have this set up to 24 by 36. Now I do have to apologize here. When printing this out, for some reason, my screen recorder did not record any of the pop-up windows. So you see me moving my mouse around a lot, and that's because I am going through the different settings. But again, for some reason, my computer just did not record any of the pop-up windows.
So to explain best I can is that the canvas I have here is 24 inches wide, 36 inches long. So when you pull up your print window, you want to go into the print settings and be sure that you have it set to 24 by 36. There is a drop down window that gives you a lot of different size options. So in this case, 24 by 36, I had to go down to the drop down window and collect the very last option, which was a custom size. So that's also nice. You can customize whatever sizes that you want. And then once you're able to customize the size that you want, and in this case, since I'm using Photoshop, it will give you the correct preview window once you have your correct dimensions set up. Otherwise, your preview window will look cropped. So again, once you have your correct dimension set up there, then your preview window will display the correct image to its fullest size. All right, so looks like my computer is communicated with the printer. So it's gonna go ahead and get started printing here. It's kind of cool right here. It gives you that little window so you can see the paper printing out as it goes. Oh, okay, so that was a little weird. So right now what it did is that it cut off about an inch strip. Not expecting that. That was a little scary. But it also tells you how long it's going to take. I went from 28 to 18. Now, one thing I messed up on, I did not change the background color on this, so it's coming out kind of yellow for some reason. I thought it was white. I mean, on my computer it looks white. So that kind of sucks, but oh well. If it wasn't for this yellow tint here, I'm sure it would cut down the print time drastically. See, 24 by 36 right there. Check it out. It says that it's cleaning. Do not open the cover or move the release lever. So I think that came out pretty good. I did blow this image up, so if I were to take a closer look at it, you can actually see the pixelation there. But again, that's because I had to blow it up on Photoshop. But I mean, that's a pretty good looking print right there. I just got to figure out what caused that yellowing, because the paper itself is not yellow. I mean, if you compare that, this was clearly white. But other than that, I'm actually really happy with this. This is pretty dope. So I ended up doing a second poster, Pikachu one here. And you can kind of see the difference in color there. So it came out yellow again. And I for sure had the background white, so I gotta figure out what's causing that yellow tinge. I printed out a color sample through the menu setting, and you can see that it's white. It didn't do that yellow tinge. Alright, so here I did a small test piece, and you can see that the background is actually white this time. I was able to figure it out. It was just a settings issue in my computer, so I'll show you guys what that looks like. So when trying to figure out what was causing that yellow tint on my paper, I was playing around with the settings. So here on the printer I went to settings, printer setting, and then I went to print settings, default print settings, print quality settings, color mode. I went to color mode. And I noticed that color mode was default to saturation. Now look at these other options here. Perceptual, correct off, monochrome, BMP. So again, it was on, by default, it was on color saturation. And again, my apologies for not being able to show you guys what my print window looks like, but when you're at your print settings and you're ready to print, be sure that you set your color to color saturation. Or if you are going to use one of these other color schematics, be sure that it's set to the same color mode on both your printer and your computer. Photoshop was defaulting to monochrome while the printer was on color saturation. So because of that miscommunication, that's what was causing that yellow tint on the background of my paper. After changing the setting on Photoshop to color saturation, so that way it matches the color saturation on the printer, it got rid of that yellow tinge, and that's what ended up giving me the correct colors when printing. Now, as you can see here, I have another print ready to go, and something that I came across was that there is a length capacity to how far you can print. In the page settings, when I went to put my custom margins, this model can print up to 24 inches wide, but what I didn't know is that it maxes out at 126-inch length. So the longest you can print on this model is 126 inches, which ends up being 10.5 feet. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so I did have to reshrink this just a little bit. I got it down to 117-inch roll. Took about 20 minutes to print all this, but as you can see, no more yellow in the background. Everything came out pretty good. So 117-inch roll and no issues. So pretty happy about that. Okay, and then to turn it off, you just hold down the off button for about a second, and then it shuts down on its own after a couple of seconds. But there you go. So my overall take on this is, other than installing the hardware, which you have to do with any printer, it's pretty much good to go out of the box. The only real work that you have to do is put in the ink cartridges, put in the ink head, and then just put your roll on. And after that, once you have your software set up, it's good to go. You're ready to start printing. Overall, this took me about 3 hours to set up, but that's because I also had other things to do. I had to clean out all this space here. But from unboxing to moving it over here to setting up the software to installing the components into this, took me about 3 hours, but you could potentially do it a lot faster than that. So again, setup is really easy with this thing, and other than that, just one little bit of troubleshooting, I think it looks great. The things that I printed have come out really well. I haven't done any photography kind of things, but when I start doing something a little bit more high detail, I'll let you guys know. That way you guys can kind of see how it looks. But right now, for just some art prints, some basic art prints, I think this is doing a fantastic job. I really like it. I think it's totally worth the investment. Alright, so now I can go ahead and start making my own posters, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now. So I'm pretty excited about that. And so hopefully I'll start selling my own artwork here. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not a doctor. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. This has been Household Journeys. Take care, people.